learning new skills, and enjoying.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nerd Asylum by Night, the Nerd Asylum's actual play Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition charity stream, where we are raising money for Riley's Children's Hospital. Tonight, we are wrapping up season 2 with our epilogue. And tonight, you'll notice that the episode goes a little bit differently than normal because each character has their own epilogue scene that we will be covering. These scenes are going to be taking place on the same night, in various places at various times. And I believe with that, that's all we really need. No, it's fine. It's fine, Lindsay. Where we are picking up tonight, it is just a few days after the events at the Renaissance Fair. The lights of Heligdom light up around Regency Records amongst the skyscrapers on the east side of the river. There, in a secure meeting room meant specifically for this sort of business, Lindsay and Prada have met before an appointment that they both have tonight. And with them is a very specific box.
Do you think this is going to go well? Am I doing the right thing?
I don't think it's going to go that badly.
What does that mean?
I mean, I don't think that it's going to go badly.
That is not what you said that badly.
I just don't think that there's any, I don't know what bad could come of this for you.
Okay.
You're going to be fine. We're going to be fine.
Oh, I'm not worried about you.
You're going to be fine.
Fine. How's Gideon?
Not great. Is
he singing Children Creepy's
Creepy Children's song?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Is he singing creepy children's songs still?
We've gotten to the point where he is aware of what he's doing now, and he's trying to manage it.
Oh, good. So he's back to a little bit.
We're working on it. Hank is
Okay.
staying with him pretty regularly.
I mean, that makes sense.
But he glances around. The only reason I'm okay with talking about this here is because Del knows.
I figured.
We don't need anyone else to know.
I would not have asked in front of anybody else. But should we tell the prince about some of the weird shit we're running into?
I feel like we should have told someone already. You should have told somebody already.
What?
If this involves the Garu?
I guess, yeah. Listen, I didn't even know that until, was it last night?
It was a couple nights ago.
A couple of nights ago. Things haven't been on the same playing field for the coterie very well, I don't think. I feel like we're all not talking to each other.
I mean, what coterie doesn't keep secrets from each other?
Is that a thing? I don't know. This is my first one.
It's a kindred thing.
Oh, fair. Fucking kindred.
Anyway, it's probably a good idea. The prince, if something's going down in Hilligdom, the prince does need to know.
I think that's a conversation we have without Nicholas in here then.
Excellent point.
Because it's none of his fucking business.
I don't want to see his face any longer than I have to anyway.
No fucking shit. I have another ring I can throw at him if I need to. It's not his, but you never know.
Does it have quite the same emotional damage?
No, I gave most of that shit back to him.
As you were saying this and having this conversation, the door to the meeting room opens. And this is a meeting room that doesn't have any windows. It's fairly centrally located within the building. You know, there's no cameras. It's actually rather similar to the one that you met Arabelle in her own building, where it's fairly nonchalant and definitely secure.
Definitely forgot who that was for a hot minute.
It's been you haven't
so
seen her
long.
in a second. It's fine. It's been a while. And in steps Nicholas. You see Prada looks over and kind of straightens up a little bit. And just gives him a nod and says evening. And Nicholas looks the two of you over suspiciously.
Just fix my nice suit jacket.
This better not take too long. Then he goes and he sits down at the table.
Oh, I give him a look. I want you to know there will be no small chit chat with my fucking husband.
It is a long, awkward silence because Prada's not touching that either.
No, it's a stare down, no fear. No fear. Fuck this guy, no fear.
Then it is a long several minutes of stare down and almost daunt, but not exactly daunt.
Don't use that shit up in here.
I mean, you're not at Elysium.
Lindsay is already this close to just straight up tearing out his throat like he did hers. So, but she'll do it by her own hands, not like a coward.
Damn. So after entirely too long of staring him down and probably fantasizing about it, I would imagine.
Yes.
Just a little bit.
She's hoping it comes one day.
The door opens. Nicholas stands up.
If it's the prince, 100%.
You don't think that he saw if it was the prince, but just in case.
Yeah.
He stands up and Prada was already standing. You feel like maybe he's a little just antsy.
I
Also
mean,
as a person.
same. I'm pretty sure Lindsay's leg has just been bouncing.
So Nicholas stands up, you stand up, and Elustra does walk in, clothed rather differently than you've seen her at Elysium. Usually at Elysium, she is full 1920s regalia, sparkling dress, and she's much more business, much more modern tonight. But
Hot.
she, every fucking time.
I feel like she's hot. What? I don't know what you want from me. Yeah.
She is. That's
so
the
I'll
point.
say it.
Y'all some thirsty bitches.
Just a little bit. Star, before we continue, should I have made a rouse check?
No, everyone is starting at 1 tonight. I am
perfect.
keeping it simple tonight.
Okay.
So let me actually write that down. Okay. Elustra does walk in. You see behind her that there's some form of security detail that posts up outside of the door.
Fair.
And she nods to all three of you and says, Prada was not very clear on what the nature of this meeting is tonight, but he insisted that it had to happen. Does anyone have any explanation for me?
I look at Prada.
He looks between you and the prince.
If he looks at me, then I will continue to talk.
Yeah. He doesn't answer immediately. He kind of like panic looks between you and the prince for a second.
Yeah. I'm here to report a breach in the masquerade.
You see Nicholas gives you some side eye.
Not Prince, only eyes
Yeah.
for Prince. That's it. No one else matters right now. It's just her and I.
She says, well, that is all right. And she moves around to the head of the table and sits down.
I found in I completely forgot my own husband's last name, Ashford. Mr. Ashford's possession this box, and I will slide the box to her, like, so that she can see what was inside of it.
As you slide it across, it looks like that's the first time Nicholas is realizing that you have the box. And the look on his face is furious. So you
secrets. I got my secrets.
You slide it across, and Elustra pops it open. Question: did you take the note out of the top?
Yes.
Okay.
The note that Gideon gave me, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's that has been so. What basically was put back into the box were just the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Prada took one or two of them, I believe.
He took a couple of them, but the ones that were of Danielle, he did put back into the box.
Yes, exactly. But he took ones that had like old Elysium.
He took one that had the old prince.
Yes, that's what I meant. But yeah, so I do not getting Gideon in trouble.
So you slid it across, and she flips it open and looks at it curiously and starts to kind of file through photos.
Yes.
You see her look at Nicholas, who in turn looks at you.
I don't look at him. Fuck that.
My prince, I'm not certain why I'm here. I do not know what that box is.
Inside is also a picture of a young woman named Danielle.
She gives you kind of a confused look.
I believe that she was turned without the consent of Elysium and was executed for it.
She seems to be thinking for a second, and Prada actually does lean forward and says, my prince, if you would look right in this section. And he kind of pulls one out and shows it to her. And she looks and goes, oh, yes. Okay, I remember. That was quite some time ago. And it is your insinuation that Nicholas was the one who embraced her?
Yes.
At which point, Prado reaches in and pulls out another photo that has Nicholas and Danielle in it and sets it in front of the prince. And she looks it over.
Is it a selfie? Like,
no, it's like he had some kind of timer setup kind of deal. Yeah. It's fucking selfie. Nicholas doesn't take selfies.
Ye old selfie.
No.
Sorry. This game is going to take forever if I keep doing this. I'll stop.
We're trying to break the tension. And so she looks the two over. And she looks up at Nicholas. Do you have anything to say against these matters? And Nicholas is staring at the photos, and you know that look. He is pissed.
Don't care.
My prince, I think that this is the effort of a vengeful child. I believe she is trying to insinuate that I did something that I had no part in.
That could be true, but I also have proof of another breach.
And illustrates another.
Yes. I pull out the picture of the night that I was attacked.
Mm-hmm.
There was only one, right? And
there was a couple.
Okay, but most of them were before the attack,
two,
right?
Maybe three. Yeah.
Okay. I will pull out three of those, the three pictures of me from the night, and I will go, this was the night that I was attacked as a mortal. And we have proof that it was a kindred who did it. And I will give her like the bank records and things that Prada had found for me.
Mm-hmm. And he had also included in there like essentially the sort of paper trail from where he was looking up where the bank statement came from and that sort of thing.
Yes.
And he adds in, this appears to be connected to a kindred of Hilligdom of the name of Corpse. And Alestra nods. I am familiar with him. He is not one of the Camarilla, but he is also not unfamiliar to me. And Prada just kind of steps back and doesn't. And so she looks over the photos and she looks over the records. Nicholas, it seems that the evidence is stacking up against you. And he is just seething.
I don't care.
Yeah. I know that you don't care. But at this point, you don't know if he can speak.
I'm not going to look at him. I'm going to keep my eyes on the prince for now.
And after a few moments, Nicholas just looks over, then looks back at the prince. Just, are you really going to believe the voice of a childer? Not even 5 years of kindred. And she goes, before he can continue, she goes, it's not her voice that I am believing. It is the photos in front of me. It is the paper trail that is not to be left by kindred who are not breaking the masquerade. It seems like you don't have a very good track record with the chowder that you embrace. And she kind of like picks up the photo of him and Danielle. If this was your chowder and you did not step forward, this could have meant execution for you. And she puts it down. As it stands, because we cannot prove it and it's been a while, it will not be execution, but between that and the way you chose about getting your chowder here, not to mention, and she pulls out one of the pictures of like an old Elysium with Desdemona, with the blur that is Desdemona, not to mention having physical evidence of these knights and the war knights as I see in here. And she goes flipping through. Lindsay, real quick, give me wits and awareness.
Okay. God, I've lost almost all my hunger die. I am very sad. I gotta get.
Why is that a bad thing?
No, I mean like physically lost them.
Like lost?
Yeah, I don't know where they are.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I have to get new ones.
You could go buy a set from the Admiral's cabin on Etsy.
No, you're right. I could do that.
A gorgeous set of custom vampire dice.
You may have to send me a link. I'm gonna spend some willpower.
Go for it.
Better. 6.
It's just for a second. As she's flipping through the photos of the Elysiums and War Knights, you think you see a face you recognize. That you wouldn't have recognized before because you hadn't seen it yet.
Okay. We'll talk about that after.
And I interrupted my own train of thought, so now I don't know what the fuck the prince was saying. God damn it.
He's not going to be executed for Danielle.
Yes. Oh, because you have a rather bad track record, and not to mention these photos that blatantly breach the masquerade of the Kindred of Elysium, as well as the War Knights. You are on thin ice. I think it's only fair to the chowder that you failed here that she no longer be considered your chowder in the eyes of the Camarilla. If you still have any connections to her legally in the mortal world, then those can be severed. We can make sure of that. Additionally, you will not be approved to embrace any further chowder. Permission will not be given as long as I am prince. And you know the punishment that will come if you embrace chowder without permission again. And I know you're not looking at him, but you can almost feel
peripherally. Yeah, after she says that, I would have kind of like glanced.
You see that he is glaring.
You can suck my dick.
But he just nods and says, "Yes, my prince." And she looks to you and says, "You have not really associated with the Camarilla recently."
No.
But I appreciate you bringing this breach to my attention. And I think I will take care of it. And she starts putting the photos back into the box as though she's about to take the box.
My prince. May Prada and I speak to you privately about a different matter?
If that is what you need, then yes.
Thank you.
And she looks at Nicholas, who, still glaring, Just nods, kind of half bows. Gives you a lingering sort of glare. As well as Prada too. And Prada's not avoiding his gaze. Prada's like over your back, just like
I I only imagine like the TikTok of, if you don't like it, there's the door. There's the door, bitch.
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I actually, as he's walking away, I do make full eye contact with him.
And he turns and walks out of the room. And Alestra turns and says, what other business do we have?
I glance at Prada before I continue to speak. There has been rumors of a creature living under the mountain.
Oh, yes.
That may be awakened soon.
I don't understand how that could be possible. That has already been taken care of decades ago. In fact,
oh, go ahead. She was not interrupting the prince. That was
yeah, that zoom.
Yeah.
In fact, I believe your coterie mate would know some more about that. Has he not told you, Lucian?
Apparently not. He's real secretive. But we saw the door the other night. They were building a park up on the mountain and almost uncovered it.
That doesn't sound correct. The park there was a park established in order to prevent this from happening.
Was that what it was? Were they tearing the park down?
You don't know what they were doing up there, actually.
That's fair. I was like, I don't know what they were doing, but there were excavators and men digging. I will pull out the notebook that I have of like the different sketches, and I will bring it over to her cautiously. I don't want the prince ripping my head off.
Hand it over.
Yeah. Since the last Elysium, I've been having visions of this happening. And these are the images I keep getting.
Where did this happen?
I tell her exactly where it was.
And it was outside the city. You would know.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's not where we protected it last time. It seems our information may have been incorrect. I will look into this.
Okay, there is, while you were flipping through the pages, one of the faces in them was familiar. And the only reason why I know it is now is because of the vision I had before. May I look through it and pull it out for you?
And she does. She pushes it back towards you.
I will open the box and Rolodex style flip through these.
And you pull out one of the essentially action shots from a street corner in Old Hilligdom amongst the War Knights, and you see the face of Mockingbird amongst a couple of blurry, what you can only assume is La Sombra.
Okay. I believe this is Mockingbird, and I will push the picture back to her.
I see. This photo is a breach of the masquerade, but we do need evidence so that we know what he looks like. He is still very much at large, as is his child, or Eric.
I'm not kidding. That is DB, not
I know.
Lindsay. Lindsay is better at composing herself than I am.
Very well. I will have my sources look into this. And it will be taken care of.
Okay.
This box needs to be destroyed.
I'm just like, it's yours. I don't.
And she puts the photos back into it and closes it. Then in that case, I will take care of that. Enjoy your new freedom.
Thank you.
And she nods to Prada, and Prada nods back. And she walks very poised out the door. And you hear Prada just,
Yeah, Lindsay drops to the floor like, oh my God.
like the end of Time Warp.
So Nicholas is still going to be a problem for me, isn't he?
Oh, he's going to be pissed. Oh, he is pissed.
That's fine. Is it self-defense if he lays his hands on me?
You're not supposed to kill a kindred.
Break an arm off, like...
I mean, that's fair game. As far as I'm concerned, I don't... I'm not involved. I'm not involved.
No. Self-defense, Prada. I'm not looking for a fight. Though I may have just started a major one with him.
I think you started one when you broke up with him. And I think you just made it worse.
I don't care. He bitch had it coming. He can't do this to anybody else now.
Not without getting caught.
Without, you know, getting murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. Yep.
Tell Gideon I said hello.
I will.
I owe you so much. Let me know what I can do for you.
We'll work it out. That he had it coming.
Fair, but you guys have done so much, both you and Gideon.
You saved Gideon's ass the other night.
Yeah, we almost buried him alive.
You what?
Well, so they were digging, and you're like, "Oh, stop digging!"
All right, that's just it's good. And he's we're just I won't mention that part. And he starts like walking for the door.
I follow him.
All right, you two exit the meeting room, chattering as you do so about less masquerade breachy things.
Keeping an eye out for fucking Nicholas.
You don't see him. The prince and her security detail have also disappeared.
I expected that to like happen at a drop of a hat.
And you make your way out of your father's building. And with that, we're going to go to a very different place in Haligdom. Are we good? Okay.
Good.
You're muted.
I'm
There
muted.
we go.
There, now I'm unmuted.
There we go. Across the river, on the southwest side of Haligdom, lies a place called Renegade Park. It's been sort of encompassed by some of the shadier areas of the city at this point. But it once stood at the edge of the town, and it encompasses small, almost like a mountain, but not quite a mountain, with hiking trails. There's a ranger station. There's a playground area with gazebos and art sculptures and water fountains, bike trails, plenty of forested areas. It is quite idyllic, especially for the small space that it's in. And Lucian, you arrive to a place fairly deep within the park. I meant to ask, how are you getting here?
Well, I took a limo, not the hearse, to go meet with Samuel.
Mm-hmm.
And then I assumed that he would have a ride to the park. And if he didn't offer me a ride, then I would shame him for not being able to afford to do so.
I don't think you'd have the opportunity to do that before he just drove off in his own car without you.
Well,
Either way.
I would have told him that, I was, well, what we're doing. We're going to go meet Lilith. Told him that I had found her. She's alone. She thinks that the two of us are meeting, me and her, to exchange an artifact that she hired me to find. And we must move quickly if we are to meet up with her because it's a certain time.
Yes. So we're going to say that
beats me.
you arrive in the same car as Samuel. He has a very nice car, late model, very sleek, driven by a ghoul. At least you assume the man to be a ghoul, who parks you at a lookout area, one of those gravel lots just off to the side of the road. There's a bluff underneath and is woods as far as you can see around you. And he steps out, and his ghoul steps out with him. And he looks around and says, surely there could have been better places to exchange an artifact.
Yes, I'm not the outdoorsy type either, but it wasn't my decision.
I suppose.
Apparently, you've driven this woman mad enough that she feels the need to hide. Quite well. It took me quite a bit of time to find her. You promise that when we are done with this and you have done what you need to do with this Lilith, that we are square and I will be rid of you.
Your boon will be paid.
Good.
And I have no desire to have any other interactions with you. Now, if you decide to break into my office or steal from my museum again, then we will have issues.
Do not see your name on the side of the building, but yes, understood.
I don't see yours either.
That's because they took it down.
And whose fault was that?
Let's just get this over with, shall we? And I'm gonna head straight down the path.
All right. He follows, and the ghoul who drove you also follows behind him. The ghoul is a larger man, wearing not quite a suit, but a nicer sort of jacket. You see a vest underneath. He and Samuel both have slightly antiquated clothing tastes. You assume that Samuel is the one who decides how he dresses. But he follows close behind as the two of you walk off towards the path into the woods. So where are you leading him?
I'm sure Lilith and I had come up with a great spot. You said it's kind of in the middle of the whole park area, so it's like quiet.
You're deep in amongst the trees. There are hiking trails, but it's easy enough to get off of hiking trails into the woods where you cannot see where the trails are anymore.
So I imagine we probably would have come up with a spot like on the hiking trail, like maybe like one of those places that has a bench on a lookout, like a photo op on a hiking trail. And Lilith is probably like there.
Okay. So she is to be waiting for you there.
Correct. Because we are exchanging an artifact, and she's hired me. She's expecting me to be alone, so perhaps I should go forward and meet with her, kind of lower her defenses a little bit and relax her a bit before you pounce. If she sees anyone coming, she might be put off, and I'm sure she knows these woods much better than we do.
You have an excellent point. Hate to admit it. Then you go on ahead. I will watch.
Okay, if you're going to shoot her, please tell me your aim is better than some of
Not
the people.
going to shoot her.
Good. Been
I
shot
told
in
you
the
to bring her.
shoulder and...
I've told you to bring her to me alive. I'm not going to do that just to have her killed
I will go on ahead. Do we have a signal? Do you want to just pounce? I don't know how do you do this?
I will approach when I see fit.
Very well. Don't take too long. I already have the artifact. It's not going to be a long exchange.
Just go.
And I'm gonna walk.
Long-winded fucking Ventru.
I'm gonna walk towards the the park there, the little bench area that we've decided is our meeting spot. And while I'm walking there, I'm pointedly going to reach into my pocket and pull out this little dragon Chinese finger trap looking thing. I just grabbed something from the shop. It's nothing. Okay, this will work.
Yeah, this will work. Yeah.
Oh no, it's the monkey.
Did you?
I grabbed the cursed monkey.
You brought the monkey.
Yep.
Okay.
So I pull it out of my pocket. It's a big old monkey. See, I got it, and then I'm gonna walk towards.
That's great.
The
All right.
area.
Excellent. So you pull out the monkey and you go walking ahead into the dark woods. There's not much light out here. There's a little bit of light pollution from further off where the ranger stations and the rest of the city are. But out here, it's mostly dark, especially under the tree cover where you are now. You do see the bench ahead of you where there is a figure in the wide-brimmed hat, the jacket, boots, skirt, and she is waiting on you.
I would like to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You see that for the most part she is still, but her finger is tapping very quickly.
I would like to activate heightened senses and kind of look around to see. Not like obviously I don't want to be looking around, but I kind of want to dart my eyes around to see if I see the trap.
You hear it.
Okay, that's good enough. I'm going to drop heightened senses then. And I'm going to approach her, and I'm going to hold out the monkey. I have brought the artifact.
And she stands up and reaches out for it. And says, "Then our deal is done." And she says it a little bit louder than she probably needed to. And about that time, you hear crunching of leaves and a yell. Samuel's yell. And a snarl.
It would seem the trap has been sprung.
Let's go help them.
I'm going to turn around and just casually walk in that direction.
You see where there's a bit of a struggle. You see that Samuel has his arm in the jaws of Diana, who is there as a wolf. And she is yanking at his arm, trying to pull him down. And he's fighting her and just like yelling for his ghoul, who is trying to pull something from a holster. And about the time that he tries to pull something from a holster, you see Rain run up and just punch him across the face. And the guy goes reeling. Are you going to do anything?
I'm gonna watch for a little bit and enjoy this for a second before I kind of position myself where the ghoul is kind of like, I want to position myself between the ghoul and the rest of the coterie.
Okay. And that's fairly easy to do. You see that Rain punching him has kind of pushed him off to the side. You lose track for a second as to what Diana is doing with Samuel. You definitely hear another set of footsteps run up to help her with backup. You assume that that's Kane. And you and Rain sort of circle, pack tactics this guy out away from Samuel. And he is rubbing his head and like stumbling and grabbing onto tree branches and trying to stand up. And he's still pulling out a gun from his holster. and he's going to aim it at probably Rain because Rain punched him.
Do I have time to put myself in the way of that?
You do not have rapid reflexes, so no.
I'm an old man. That makes sense.
I mean, you could have had rapid reflexes for somehow. I should have already done this, honestly.
It's all good.
All right. Wow. Damn. Rain dodges out of the fucking way.
Nice.
So with the gunshot that rings across the mountain through the trees, the ghoul raises his gun and shoots, and Rain just ducks easily and goes kind of charging towards him to tackle him.
Can I at this point activate Daunt and try to get the ghoul to stand down? Just drop his weapon. I'm just trying to disarm him.
Okay, so you do that as Rain tackles him and kind of pushes him against a tree. Give me, and you're commanding him to stand down.
Yes.
Give me intimidation and charisma, I guess. Intimidation and charisma, and then one dot for your presence. 1 die for your presence.
One die for my presence. All right. Five successes.
Yeah, supposed to fucking roll against that. All right, so after being slammed up against this tree, and then you just sort of walking up and standing in front of him, just drop it. He does. He stares at you, held up against the bark by Rain, who has his arm up against him, and he drops his gun to the ground.
At that point, I'm going to kind of look over and assess the situation with Samuel and see, do they need help?
So, it seems that the situation with Samuel has changed. You see now that where Diana had been attacking Samuel, trying to pull him down, you heard Cain approaching. You don't know what Kasai was doing. When you look back, Diana has turned around and is attacking Cain, who is just trying to fend her off any way that he can without hurting her. And Samuel and Kasai are now facing each other, and you see them doing what you can only assume is some sort of casting motion aimed at each other.
Okay. At that,
there's some Tremere shit going down.
I would like to pick up the gun that was dropped.
Okay.
I'm going to aim it at Samuel if there's a clear shot and not a chance that I'm going to hit the rest of the coterie that's fighting him.
Yes.
I'm going to unload the clip as much as it right at Sam.
Okay.
All the bullets that are in there, however
there is a clear shot. I'm going to need you to give me dex and firearms.
Okay. Not really trying to actually hit it. Like, I am trying to hit him, but like, that's not my...
That's 2 dots for you, honey.
One is hunger, right?
Yeah.
No successes.
Remember, you can use a willpower to re-roll up to 3 black dice.
Okay, so I can re-roll my black one.
Yes.
Still no success. And that was a willpower.
So I would say you get through a couple of bullets before realizing that you're not as good at this as you thought you might be, as you'd hoped you might be. And so a couple of shots ring out, hitting the trees near Samuel, who turns and ducks a little bit, but it gives Kasai the chance to drop what she was doing. She pulls out a blade and runs it along her hand, and you see it coat with blood.
Curious.
And she's going to try and go for him.
Get him. I would like to cast Bardic Inspiration.
Seen is not a bard. Oh boy. Oh honey. Not as good at this as you thought you were. Okay. Blood sorcery shit. Interesting. Okay. Where I have so many character sheets in front of me right now. Oh, wrong one. Okay. Let's say that doesn't make any sense. Okay. So, what happens? She takes this knife that she has pulled from the side, coats it with blood, and goes to swing at him. It seems like neither one of them are really trained in physical fighting. It's a little clumsy, but she does manage to nick him a bit just under the rib cage. But whatever that was going to do doesn't seem to take effect. He kind of grabs at it and just glances up at her and smirks and just goes, "I taught you better than that." And he is going to I keep rolling the same fucking thing. I don't know how I'm doing this over here. You see that he bites his tongue and spits blood at her.
That's disgusting.
And it just barely nicks her. It doesn't seem to do anything either.
Are there any bullets left in this clip?
I would say there are 3.
I'm going to unload the rest of the 3 in rapid fire succession, just as fast as I can pull that trigger. I'm aiming at him, but my point is not to actually hit him. Like if I hit him, great, but I just want to unload all the bullets in the gun.
Okay. So mostly just to make the gun useless.
That, and I want to, as soon as I'm done firing, place it up against the ghoul's jugular, because it'll be super, super hot and burn him.
Okay. All right. So are you going to try at least shoot at Samuel?
I'm aiming in that general direction. If I hit him, great. But...
For Shiggles, just roll me 2 dice for your dexterity.
I have 2 successes.
It'll make me actually roll. Only 1. You do actually manage to nick him.
Oh, bonus. All right.
You hear him just, ah! And he turns and looks to see that you're the one shooting him. And he just goes, I fucking knew it.
I'm gonna be like, sorry, I'm aiming at her. Pay attention to the fight. And then I'm gonna go and to the ghoul.
Okay. So, Rain still has, you see that Rain's still got the ghoul pinned up against the tree, though he is looking over at Kane and Diana really concerned. But from what you can tell, it looks like Kane has pinned her to the ground and seems to have her fairly solid right now. And so you run over and you put the very hot gun barrel to his chin. Now what?
As soon as the pain kind of like takes over for the ghoul or whatever, as soon as they realize what's going on, I'm gonna look at Rain and go help them.
He's just like, all right. And he lets go of the ghoul and he runs for Samuel. He doesn't run for Diana and Kane.
Yeah, just go help them. Go take out Samuel. That's what we're here for.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna hold that gun barrel up there and just like cause that searing pain, and then I'm gonna look into this ghoul's eyes, and I can make this all go away. All this pain and suffering that you have right now. Would you like that? Would you like to be free?
If you fucking die.
I'm going to do it again. I don't know how long they stay hot, but I'm gonna.
I don't either, but it's not staying. I don't think it's gonna stay hot that long.
Yeah.
No, not searing at least.
I'm gonna punch as hard as I can to try to break the nose. I'm not a Bruja, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna activate Daunt.
Give me strength
this
and brawl, which does not take. Daunt does not help with strength and brawl, my friend.
No, Daunt helps with intimidation.
No, yeah.
See here, brawl. I have 0. What is the other one? Strength. I have 1. All right. What's the skull mean again? I think that's a messy crit thing, right?
Did you roll the skull?
That's all I have is 1, so yeah, that's all I got. Just that red hunger dice.
That's a bestial failure.
Oh.
So.
I'm in trouble.
Your thought is to punch him and keep, poking him with this gun and threatening him with it and searing him with it. And the beast in the back of your mind is just like, fuck this guy. And instead of punching him, you go for his throat. And you start to drink. You can make a willpower to stop yourself before he dies.
I would like to try. I just roll a black dice, right?
It's your entire unspent willpower, which is
1,
your
2,
composure
3,
and
4.
resolve. Should be 5.
But I spent a willpower, so it should be 4.
It should be 4,
okay.
Yes.
And that's not a hunger die, it's all black dice.
It's all black.
Okay.
You cannot roll. You cannot re-roll willpower, though.
2 out of 4 ain't bad, right?
2?
2.
He's going to be woozy, but you don't kill him. And when you let go, he does sink down to his knees.
Oh. As I gather myself and realize what I have done, because I'm a consensualist and I did not get his consent to feed on him, so that's going to cause me some grief, I'm sure. I'm going to assess the situation with Samuel again. Like, what's going on? Are they done yet?
Y'all done yet? Well, let's find out. We're just going to do... Girl. Why can I not roll anything tonight? This is the curse of the... They're over here just... not touching each other at all. So mad. So mad. I rolled 1 success and then I rolled 0 successes. And I'm so mad. Out of too many dice. Fuck. So, real quick. Jesus Christ. I'm glad I'm not the one fighting here. So, you look over, and it looks like Kasai has finally gotten him with the blood-covered knife, and Rain has now gotten Samuel in sort of a headlock. Kane has Diana still pinned over to the side, and she seemed a bit calmer, though still growling and still in wolf form. And Kasai just has the knife at Samuel's face. And he's just sort of smirking at her. Says, "You don't have the guts to do it. I know you. You can't do it." And there's a hesitation. And Rain sort of like is holding him and like moves his arm to the side. I'm going to do it just one more time. Samuel does struggle a little bit, does not get out because he does not seem to be a fighter. I haven't rolled more than 3 successes this entire fucking night. And these characters have a lot of dice.
Just not their night.
No, it's not their night to not be their night. And you watch as Kasai simultaneously shoves the knife into where you think his heart would be. And then she doesn't go to drink him. You think that she's going to. But as you're watching, he does stop struggling. His body does go limp, and he does just continue to stare at her. It doesn't seem to be because he was staked. It seems to be something else that is paralyzing him.
I'm watching very curiously, like, what's going on? Why is he not Ash yet?
Mm-hmm. And she looks at Rain and kind of like sets him down. She pulls out the knife, and Samuel is still immobilized. So you know it's not the knife that was doing it. And then she takes it, leans him down, and it's not a very big knife. It's at least a dagger, but it's not a very big knife. And she starts cutting at the neck.
I am going to kind of walk around everything. I want to keep an eye on the ghoul, make sure the ghoul is still out and down. Mm-hmm. But I want to kind of position myself so that Samuel can see me there.
Mm-hmm. He seems to be paralyzed by something.
But I'm in eye mm-hmm. like range.
Oh yeah, he is definitely awake and aware, and you see the pain as she goes in and slowly but surely cuts his head off.
I watched the entire thing.
It starts off sort of methodical and then just turns into rage.
A couple steps back.
Yeah. And there's definitely There's definitely a lot of emotion there, a lot of to the point of you're not sure. It's kind of dark, it's hard to see, but you think tears. And with a finer wrench, she severs the rest of the spine, and his body very slowly, grossly, just dries out, desiccates, and then becomes a weird, almost greasy ash.
As his eyes are starting to like glaze or like deteriorate, I'm gonna mouth the words, "My museum."
You don't know if it got through, but you sure did enjoy doing it.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna wait a couple minutes to have her like calm down. I'm gonna go back around and address the ghoul. I would like to check out. Is the ghoul like out of it? Like,
You think if he tried, he could get up and walk around, but he's very woozy. You were kind of close to draining him.
I would like to help him up and kind of start being a little friendly to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna kind of take him back to the shop with me. And on the way, I'd like to like just have a basic conversation, like chit chat, like what's your name? Oh, I'm Lucy.
He's
and I own a
not
shop.
he's not super lucid.
Yeah. Do I get any kind of responses, or are they just like mumbling?
It's mostly mumbling.
Okay.
All right. So
he's gonna come with me though.
all right. So you leave the Renegade Park coterie in this aftermath of this kindred murder. You gather Samuel's ghoul. I imagine you also gather his car.
Oh yeah.
And you drive back to the shop.
I would also like to make sure that I grab the cursed monkey so that there's nothing attaching me to the scene.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also going to take the gun with me.
Mm-hmm. It is the ghoul's gun, as far as you know.
I'm taking all the evidence with me. I am going to, once she kind of calms down, it's been a pleasure doing business with you.
You see Rain, she's kind of just like a little bit out of it, and Rain's just like,
you have my number if you need anything.
Yeah. And it seems like Diana has also calmed down over in the corner and is apologizing profusely to Kane, who's just like, it's okay, I know he did a thing, it's okay, and she's just like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't want to. And yeah, so that's kind of the state that you leave them in.
Worked out well. I'm excited.
All right, so with Lucian having committed kindred murder, or at least helped with kindred murder.
I don't know what you're talking about. We were just going to exchange an artifact. That happened. I don't know.
That was weird. Yeah, I don't know. We're going to shift scenes once again to something a little more lighthearted, though rather close by. So, also on the west side of Epilogue, closer to the boardwalk, amongst the loud music and flashing lights of the Fetchling Club, we find our two favorite dancers hanging out in sort of like a lifted up, a balcony sort of table. Very private, and you have a very good view of the stage. Basically, you find yourself sitting with Gray, who does still have his mask on, but is definitely much more relaxed on his, what seems to be at least a little while of a break between dances.
Mm-hmm. Full house tonight, huh?
Yeah, looks like it's a good night. Glad you came out. I haven't gotten to see y'all in a while.
Yeah, it's been a time.
That's what I've heard.
What exactly have you heard?
The last thing I heard was a little bouncing baby Brujah, but it's been time since that, so
Yeah, bouncing baby something.
that seems a little. You gonna talk
Not,
about?
no, that sounds bad. That's
Are you gonna talk about your child that way?
clanless child.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this a bad thing? Gosh, I never know how to react to this kind of thing.
Is it that it's fine. I mean, I'm just taking it one day at a time.
That's all we can do, right? Whew, yeah, okay.
Did I fail?
What?
Eh,
Fail.
Did I mean, look, she's doing this better than I ever did, I think. And then the kindred thing.
I don't think there's a right way to do it.
You got your shit together.
I mean, a little bit, but at the beginning, and I know you're not at the beginning of it, but like everyone's got their thing, you know. Most of the other Nos hate the way I do things. Fact that I'm up in front of people every single night, multiple times a night, they hate that. They're all about, oh, we're the sewer rats, oh, we gotta hide in the shadows and do the sneaky things and remain neutral. And I'm just like, all right. Well, I want a tiger or panther. My bad. I want a panther and I want to dance. So
You gotta go after what you want. I can respect that.
do you know what you want?
I mean, I thought I did. I wanted fame, and
OnlyFans went pretty well. It's going pretty well.
I think I'm losing it, you know? Yeah, sorry. Let's just hang out and enjoy this.
I mean, if you need to talk, I'm here.
Do you care about them a lot? He kind of gestures down at like the people.
A couple of them. I mean, you know, Trish, she's very sweet. She's a really good waitress.
Yeah, we've crossed paths now and again.
And Kelly's pretty cool.
I don't know. I just stayed away from all the other kindred, and I was all about, you know, people and.
Oh, did you mean kindred? I was talking about the waitresses.
No, I mean like the.
I don't really talk to other kindred either. I don't think you have to.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm really getting into the coterie thing. Don't get me wrong. It's weird and nice and.
It's like an awkward little family.
Yeah. No idea what the awkward.
All the good and the bad that comes with having an awkward little family. I think it's good to have someone to take care of and to be taken care of by. People to, you know, have your back. And you have theirs.
It's kind of new concept. But nice.
Do I have me a lone wolf over here?
Hardly. We're doing the thing.
You just said this is not what you normally do.
Look, I think I'm just getting bored of the OnlyFans and the people. I think just it's fine.
I mean, forever is a long time to be bored.
Yeah. So I've got a question. You know, I wander around and drive a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know about like domain stuff?
I know that the Fetchling Club's my domain. It's largely... It tends to work slightly differently between the Anarchs and the Camarilla. The Camarilla tend to have bigger domains. But it can be anywhere from just being like an actual place to like an actual niche in the marketplace kind of deal.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah. This is my area. I know of a couple of domains around here, but I don't really know all of them. Usually you just got to be careful.
Yeah. I've towed the line a couple times, but
Oh, who'd you piss off?
Silverblood. You ever heard of him?
That tool. Oh yeah, I've heard of him. I've seen him around. This isn't his kind of place, but I've seen him around. This place is pretty nice. It's okay.
That's
Not my thing either, but
I like this spot. And you're not going to threaten to kick me out, right?
why would I do that? Dude, I want you on the stage with me half the time. I think you'd do well.
Make me feel all warm and undead inside.
I guess that's what I'm good at? I don't know.
Well, I've got free time if you ever need like a part-timer or something.
I think it'd be fun.
All right, sign me up.
All right, I'll go let him know over at the
Only
in the back there. Huh?
if you promise to come around for Slurpees every now and then.
Oh, hell yeah. Wait, you have Slurpees?
You're just going to have to come check it out.
I can't decide if that's going to be good or not. Yeah, I have to find out. Well, I'll let them know I've got somebody interested in hopping in.
Cool.
I would say that you've already passed your interview.
Oh, jeez.
But I gotta get ready to get on in about 20 minutes.
All right, well, you know where I'll be.
Is that here or is that at the shop?
That's here. I'm gonna stay for your gig.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
He just he stands up, gives you a wave, and turns to go back down the stairs to the main floor and then, to the back.
Basil's gonna spend a little time like relaxing in kind of the balcony area that they had, and then when it gets closer to that time, he's gonna come down nearer to the stage.
It's nice up here. There's a good movement, like a good crowd downstairs, and there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of lights, a lot of dancing, before the actual dance show comes on. But up here it's set apart. It's quieter. You can kind of have your own thoughts. Just watch everyone from above. It's peaceful. And then as it gets closer, the smaller acts start to close up, and you know that it's about to be Gray's turn to go down. You stand up and head back into the staircase and down to the main floor towards the stage. As you do so, it's a decent crowd tonight. It is a full house, and you actually bump into someone a little harder than you expected. Most people you've been able to kind of weave around, but this person's just like almost directly shoulder to shoulder.
I kind of take them by their shoulders and to make sure they don't fall over. Sorry.
As you do so, it's a man. And with an instant of horror, you realize that you recognize him.
Turn around. As soon as I realize that, like, turn around and walk.
Well, and as he looks at you, like, also, you would think that he would not know who you are. But then after a second, he also has a look of realization. And then you turn around and start to walk. Are you going towards the stage, or are you leaving the place?
I'm just gonna go towards the stage and kind of blend in.
Okay. Give me what's
okay.
What's an awareness real quick?
Okay. Uh, 4.
Okay. So you turn around, duck into the rest of the crowd, and try to get up closer to the stage, both to see Gray and to get away from this guy. And you don't see him. You think you're okay. And then on the other side of the stage, you can see movement, people moving around, milling about, waiting, trying to get a closer look, waiting for the stage to, light up. And you see him for just a second kind of lean around and look like he's trying to see if he can see you again. And about the same time, sunglasses and eyes meet. And you know for sure now that's your nephew.
Fuck.
And he turns and heads for the door as fast as he can through the crowd.
I'm gonna follow him. Maybe I can clear up any misunderstanding.
So you make a run for the door, extricating yourself from the crowd now, trying to get around the people who are, like you said, full house. There's a lot of people here. And by the time you get to the door and go to the outside, you see that smokers who are hanging out there, the haze around them and everything, and you're looking around and you don't know where he's gone. There's too many cars, too many places he could have turned and ran.
All right, I'm gonna go back in. Maybe he just thought I was some super handsome dude. I'm gonna have to look into that later.
All right. And as you head back inside, you can hear the beginning notes of Gray's show.
Put on a smile and head back up to the stage.
All right. So, with that, we are going to head to the last location of our night. All right. It is near dawn. On, once again, the west side of Haligdom, the far edges of the city, where Everything is run down. The building you're at is almost surrounded by forest. And you stand atop the roof of the great far-reaching building that is Heligdom Hills Sanatorium. Stasia, what is this scene?
It's a very familiar scene, very personal to Stasia. It's where she died.
Are you in the basement or are you somewhere else?
The basement is where she died, right?
Yes, the basement is where she died.
Okay. We're closer up to the first floor.
Okay. Somewhere that has windows.
Yes. That. Eric's tied to a chair.
He's
Also, if he's been fucking muttering this entire damn time, I'm gonna gag him.
well, you had taped his mouth shut.
Just
So I'm imagining that he's still mouth taped shut because he is still occasionally struggling, not constantly struggling anymore, but occasionally struggling, and you can hear his voice as he's trying to say whatever it is he's trying to say. But you know what he's been saying.
Yeah.
You know what he's going to try and say again.
mm-hmm.
He hasn't stopped. No matter what you ask him, no matter what you say to him, it's always the same.
Part of me just wants to, keep him alive longer just to see if we can figure this out so that he can be lucid when I kill him. But, might as well keep the past in the past. What do you think, bud?
He's just, yeah, it's the same thing as usual.
That's what I thought you were going to say. She just like, I know. I didn't think it was going to end like this, honestly. But at the end, we're both dead. It's what you wanted. So, you get what you want and I get what I want. Don't see this as a bad thing. See it as a grand adventure to see what happens after death. Okay. Yeah. So do you want to look at me or do you want to look at the sun?
You get the same response. Shaking.
All right. Yeah, she's just gonna position like kind of where the sun comes in at that angle, or I guess this way.
Mhm.
And that she'll be in the backside of it.
So
So-
the sun will come in through the window and she'll be behind him.
Yeah.
Mhm. The sky outside is getting lighter. It's tricky to stand here because you feel the lethargy and you feel the need to find somewhere. It's almost turning into a panic, but you steel yourself because you've wanted this for so long.
Yeah, thirsty babies.
I removed the one next to my desk so they went to the one on the other side of the room.
They sure showed you.
And the sun begins to rise. The edge of the trees begins to turn ever so slightly light gray. And then ever so slightly golden. And this is the brightest you've seen the sky in weeks. And there's a rising panic, a rising feeling of I need to get the fuck out of here. especially when the light comes up enough that you begin to see it form in the shape of the window. And it creeps towards Eric. And he's still shaking. If anything, the fighting has gotten worse because he too, he's also feeling that panic. You can feel it almost like a physical tingle from the sunlight that's coming into this room.
That's chill. It's totally my thing. It's my kink.
Near-death experiences is fine.
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I don't have to be on drugs for this one. It's free.
And Eric is shaking against his chair, fighting against his bonds, the chains and the ropes, and the duct tape. And his voice is rising, muffled still behind the duct tape. But it's not just she's coming, we will release her. It's becoming screams. Straight up screams. And then the light pools right at his feet and begins to creep upwards. It's almost like smoke. And you watch so slowly as the light creeps up him and begins to just it's not like sparkles. I don't want to say sparkles.
Yeah, he is a bitch boy. He wouldn't fuck sparkle.
But it's almost like a firework. Well, it's almost like a firework as it begins to creep up his body, the bright lights, and the ash. And his panicking reaches ahead. It reaches a peak as he's almost halfway immolated, essentially, by the sunlight. And then it stops as he watches the light from the window creep up the rest of his body. And you have to step back because now it's close to you too. And you also feel the smoke, the tingle, you know that you're trying to stay in here as long as you can, but it's getting dodgy. And you watch Eric turn to ash beneath the sunlight.
I didn't get a witness. I don't know if he's fucking with me.
You say, and then you book it out the door towards an interior stairwell.
Don't touch the light, don't touch the light, don't touch the light, don't touch the light, don't touch the light.
Dodging pools of light like it's fucking the floor is lava.
It was so dark in here when I died, and now it's so bright.
It is. This is the brightest you've seen in weeks. It's hard to look at. It's hard to even be in. And then you duck down that staircase into the maintenance area, into a room that has no windows. Blessedly, no windows.
Brought my little sleeping bag.
Yes, you barely make it to the sleeping bag before you just wrap yourself up and fall dead to the world. Safe in the darkness.
Inside the sleeping bag.
No, you're not moving inside the sleeping bag. You're dead.
I'm dreaming about it.
And that is where we will wrap up season 2 of the Nerd Asylum by Night. We got everybody?
Yeah.
Everybody
everybody's
back?
here. Wow.
Outfit change for DB.
You're fine.
Thank you everybody for joining us tonight. If you like what we're doing, please consider becoming a patron. This is the last episode of NA by Night for the season. We will be back
Sometime in January, question mark?
Keep an eye out
Yes.
on all social medias and
Somewhere in
Discord and website, and we will let you know. Our social media is the Nerd Asylum on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook,
TikTok.
Yes, I feel like I'm missing one. Going out of order, guys.
Instagram.
Anyway, God, I'm so sorry. Thank you everybody for supporting Riley's Children's Hospital this year. We have made amazing strides, and we couldn't have done it without the donations of you guys, and we appreciate it so much.
Viewers like you.
Yeah, I think that's most of our. You can follow this show specifically on Instagram and Twitter.
Yes.
That is NA_by_night over on Twitter, and just NA by night over on Instagram.
I'm gonna fix that one day.
We have a while. You could fix during the break.
True.
And
Maybe
then
I'll
I'm
do
no
that.
longer allowed. Well, then I'd be like, fuck, everything I've said ever is wrong now. Whatever.
Things
If you would
update.
like to catch up on this show or any of our other shows, please go over to our website and pick one of the shows to catch up on.
So it's also on YouTube.
Yes, you can also follow all of this on YouTube as well. They are actually everything is in a playlist by season. So if you missed season 1, go back to season 1.
You can binge watch
Thank
it
you.
all.
Yes. Thank you everybody, and we will see you in the new year. Bye.
Till then,
Bye.
stay nerdy, friends.
Yeet.
From the city that brought you Kentucky Fried Chicken comes Roll for Weird, a Monster of the Week actual play podcast. Join Philbert Fogel, Doomsday Prepper and Expert.
I mean, I'm kind of like the linchpin that's keeping everything together.
Lasath, the Divine.
And I still owe him my life, so I would have to end yours. It would be a mess.
Shadow, the Edgy Initiate.
I trust him with my life. I don't know if I trust him with my car.
Misty Charlotte Palladino, Spellslinger.
But I haven't set anything on fire that I haven't meant to set on fire.
Silas Lancaster, Elderly Vampire.
They broke the mold when they made Philbert.
Roll for Weird on Twitch, streaming monthly. New podcast episodes every other Friday.
Hey, Scales, is this thing on?